that I may have left out. So mm, that's okay. So Rosemary, you want to say something? I can see you're unmuted.
Oh, sorry, it was by mistake, but good morning, everyone. Thank you for this session.
Oh,
I hope that we'll learn a lot and
yeah.
uh, have a blessed weekend.
Okay, thank you so much, Rosemary, for that. Yeah, so like I was saying, I'm encouraging all of us to participate. I'm encouraging all of us to ask questions, to add more insight so that it can be a learning session for all of us. So I'll start by asking us 5 questions. There are 5 questions that we need to ask ourselves. The first one, have you ever applied for a particular job severally without success? Number two, have you been attending interviews without passing, without getting the job offer? Number three, have you ever received multiple job offers and you are at a crossroad on which one to choose? Number four, have you ever shuddered at the thought of a salary negotiation session after you receive a job offer? And number five, have you ever joined a certain company and more than 6 months later, you haven't found your footing? If your answer is yes to any of these questions, then it means that today's session is for you because the all the dilemmas that you have in your career life, they can be solved either by a mentor or a coach. And so at that, we are going to look at the definition of a mentor and the definition of a coach. The two are closely related to each other. However, they have some differences. So a coach is okay. Coaching ideally is when an experienced person supports a learner in achieving a specific professional goal. So a coach is only there to help you with a specific goal. Um, it's upon you as the learner now in this context to identify which gap you have, which skill gap you have, and then to look for a coach who is going to help you with that particular issue only. Let's say, for example, you have a gap in passing your interviews. You're going to look for an interview coach specifically to help you pass an interview. After that, the relationship between the coach and the coachee might end. And then a mentor now is someone who is more focused on growth and development of the mentee, of the professional, so that their relationship is long term and it's not really focused on one goal. It's focused on developing the mentee holistically to the extent that a time will come that the mentee is able to make their own decisions. The mentee is well equipped to make their own choices. They know when to make career moves. They know when to go for a promotion. Yeah, so a mentor is long term and a coach is only there for a specific goal. Sometimes a coach might become a mentor if your relationship progresses with time. So that's the definition of a mentor and a coach. And I believe it has also covered a bit of the differences. The other difference between a mentor and a coach is that a mentor is there for a commercial purpose, or let's say they're gaining something, in the sense that they provide the service that and the coachee pays for the service. But for a mentor is someone who is doing it out of generosity. They're doing it out of love, like they have a genuine will to see the mentee is succeeding. So, in order to be successful, you need both mentors and coaches in your career journey, because you'll discover that You can't be able to get everything you need from from one particular mentor, and you can't be able to get everything you need from one particular coach. So you're allowed to have several. You're allowed to have several mentors. You're allowed to have several coaches at each and every step of your career. So let's now look at mentorship and coaching when it comes to job search. So job search is usually not a very easy process, especially for those who are new in the job market, or for those who have had a career gap. And mentorship and mentors and coaches can help someone to navigate through easily. First of all, it's because they have a wide network. I'm supposing that at this time, the mentor that you have chosen or the coach has more experience than you. And so you find that through the years, they have gathered relationships with recruiters, they have gathered relationships with other CEOs of other companies. And so when these people are doing something like headhunting or poaching, maybe they just call the mentor, they ask him if they can recommend someone for a particular position. And then this mentor now is able to like to mention your name and then to mentor you in how you're going to get the job. So and coaches, they help in the sense that they understand the process of job application. They understand which kinds of jobs you need to apply for. They know when you need to apply, and so they can be able to guide you through this process so that you are very so that you are successful. And this doesn't mean that those who don't have mentors and coaches, they don't get jobs. No, in fact, mentorship and coaching is for those who are keen on developing their careers and not just having jobs, because you're looking at you're looking at how you can develop yourself to the sense that this knowledge you have gained from your mentor, you can even transfer it to others. So if you're keen on having a career, then definitely you will need a mentor and you will need a coach. And it's not easy also to get a mentor, because most of the people who have developed themselves to the extent that they can mentor others are usually people who are a bit busy, like they have businesses running, they have work to do. So you might find that at most they can mentor only a few number of people. And so for you to be able to be the one to that he chooses to mentor, you have to show that you have to give him a reason to invest his time on you, and to take it upon himself now to mentor you. First thing you can do is by, if there are person who like engages in public speaking, if they have online forums, you need to join those forums, you need to be consistent, ask questions, give them feedback about how their previous sessions were of help to you. And that way they will notice you, and they will notice that there's a gap you need, there's a gap in your life that they need to step up and fill. uh, it's better to do it that way, as opposed to just rather asking someone or like being straightforward and saying, will you be my mentor? Chances are high they are going to decline, because, like I've said, they are quite busy, and maybe they are mentoring a few other people. So it might not be a good approach to directly ask like that. So personally, how I got my mentors, and I thank God that all my mentors, one of them is in the recruitment industry. She's purely a recruiter. Another one is HR professional. So I had gone for an interview, because they recruit for different companies at the same time. They recruit for different companies. So I didn't pass that first interview because I was still just joining the job market. But after the interview, now I started asking questions. Asking questions again is one way to interest someone to be your mentor, like to ask them, how can I pass my interview? How can I negotiate for my salary? So as they were answering those questions, we developed that bond, and the mentorship relationship just became it just started flowing after that. You find that most of the times, most of the advice they give to me, they don't give it in a formal setting, like what happens during coaching. This one happens when, let's say, I've gone to meet them for a cup of coffee, and we're just talking about life, and then they give me a tip. They give me a tip on like the jobs which are like maybe a skill which I need to develop in order for me to remain relevant in the job market. So that's one of the ways that you can choose, you can make someone to be interested in being your mentor and to actually invest their time on you. It's upon you as a mentee to develop that interest in them, because like I said, mentors are not there to be paid. They're doing it out of generosity. Yeah, so I hope you've gained something there. And for coaching, we have people, very many people who are doing coaching right now in the Kenyan job market, and specifically career coaching. When you go to LinkedIn and just search career coaching, you're going to get millions and millions of people. So yeah, it's easy to get a coach, but you have also to be very careful. You have to have the coach has to be credible. The coach that you're choosing has to be credible, because people who are not HR professionals are now getting into, yeah, like those things of CV writing and career coaching. So you have to be careful that actually the person who is coaching you is qualified for what they're doing. Uh, any question to that point? I've talked about how to get a mentor and how to get a coach. It's easy to get a coach, but do your background job first. Do the background searches. Let it be that you are being coached by someone who is credible, because again, they're getting value for their time because you are going to pay. And yeah, so it's advisable that you're paying for something which will actually be beneficial to you for the specific goal that you would like to achieve. And next, we can look at the benefits of mentorship and coaching in career advancement. The first one is opportunities. These mentors have access to opportunities. You find that in a certain company, uh, there's someone, let's say if you've chosen a mentor from the company you are working in, this person is higher there in the hierarchy. It's not a must for them to be your immediate boss, but they're high there, so they know how they know the strategic direction of the company. They can be able to tell whether there's going to be a recruitment exercise, whether there's going to be changes in staffing, and so they can be able to position you or to give you a heads up so that you can align yourself. And they also have opportunities externally. For coaches, they have opportunities as well because they interact. So if you find someone who is a coach, most probably they'll also be a recruiter. Most probably they'll also be someone who is involved in reference checking, and so they have opportunities at their fingertips. This is they have opportunities at their disposal. This is for those who apply for jobs and they don't get feedback. Maybe you've been applying for wrong jobs, so they're able to identify the right opportunities for you. And then Another benefit of mentorship and coaching is that it's an excellent induction and orientation tool. You find that when you join a company, and after you've gone through the company orientation, like for me, what I personally do, like I've joined week one, I've already been taken through the company induction, the departmental induction. Now I take it upon myself. I go to each and every head of department, and then I now align myself to their departmental like needs, because now as a HR person I have to find out how am I going to collaborate with this department, or how am I supposed to collaborate with this department. You find that most of the time, very, very, very many details which were not covered during the orientation, they come up during that time. And also, it also helps me to develop a working relationship with them. It breaks the silos. So I'm not like, I'm just doing my own HR work and they're doing finance and production. We now start like working as a team, and they tell me exactly what they need from me, and I tell them exactly what I need from them. So and then at that point, I can get a mentor just there in the workplace. I usually like in the workplace to get a mentor for the duration in which I'll be working in that company, because most of the time people have stayed there for longer. They understand the culture of the organization, they understand how the bosses work. So um, getting a mentor and a coach at the workplace is helpful to me. It's helpful to you, sorry, so that you can settle in your role very quickly. And then now you can start now performing well. You find that some people, some companies, their induction programs are not so elaborate. And so several months down the line, the employee is still lost, or maybe several months within even before the end of the probation, the management tells the employee, you're not performing, like we need you out because you're not performing. But you wonder, this is the person who performed very well during the interview. You looked at their CV, you were happy with what they did for the companies they were in. So how is it possible that they have come to this company, they have gone through orientation, and within 3 months, you're saying they're not performing? Chances are high you have not linked them up with the right coach, you have not linked them up with the right mentor. So that's another benefit. The other benefit of mentorship and coaching is that they mentors and coaches have industry knowledge and expertise. You find everyone is like specialized in what they do, and so if you're joining a specific career or a specific industry, and you want to climb the corporate ladder, taking it literally, first of all, you need the ladder. The ladder is the mentor, or the ladder is the coach. So they have all the industry requirements, they understand the industry requirements, they understand exactly what happens and when it happens. And so they are able to guide you, they're able to see, they're able to help you make a decision, they're able to see like a pitfall, they're able to, so that in what would have taken you a long time to learn, you learn it like within a shorter period, and you're able to be more productive. Those are some of the benefits of mentorship. If you have others, you can add them on the chat as we continue. Next, we look at finding the right coach and mentor. About mentorship, uh, your mentor doesn't have to be someone who knows you, by the way, because in fact, you won't be engaging with your mentor on a daily process like a coach, because a mentor, it's you as a mentee to keep up with them. It's you as a mentee to give them feedback on your progress, like to give them updates, to let them know this is where I applied for this job. I'm waiting for feedback. I also applied for this other job. So I have two job offers. What can I do? It's up to you to keep up with them. And you might find that someone who is mentoring you is someone even outside your geographical area. Let's say they're in another country, and you can be mentored by them through their reading materials. Let's say if they have written books, you can read through the books, you can get their line of thought, you can watch their video clips. These days we are so advantaged because the content is all over there on social media. You can go to their YouTube page, you can go to their TikTok, you can just listen to their recordings, and you can listen to their stories, because most of these mentors, they usually volunteer information. They like to help because they're successful in what they're doing, so they're not mean with their information. So when you listen to their stories, get their routine, um, you're able to be mentored by them even without them knowing that they're mentoring you. Yeah, so you like I've said, you don't have to be in constant communication with your mentor, like, because also, like, because they are busy, you also don't want to overwhelm them. Just reach out from time to time over, let's say, a cup of coffee. As you're talking, something will, if you're keen enough, something is going to, you're going to get an idea, or you're going to get something that is going to be helpful to you. And then finding the right coach. This one is a process. It's a process. Now, the first thing you need to do for you to be able to find a right coach is to first of all do a personal skills gap analysis. How do you identify the skills, the gaps in your skills? Number one is to identify the problems you have. Let's say a problem I used to have was negotiating for salary, because every company I was joining, I was finding out that everyone who is doing the same work as I'm doing is earning higher than what I'm doing. So I identified I have a skill gap. And so the next step after identifying the skill gap, the next step is setting a goal. Now the goal I set was developing salary negotiation skill. So I now have the skill gap, and it doesn't have to be one skill gap. You might have several skill gaps. You might have a problem with communication skills. You might have a problem with applying for jobs. You might have a problem with passing interviews. You might have a problem with salary negotiation. So just list them down and then come up with the goals. Uh, the goals also have to be the ones they say SMART goals: specific, uh, uh, time bound, realistic. Yeah. And then now the goals are going to help you to develop a focus on the kind of coach you're looking for. Then next now is to start sourcing for a coach. Even at this point, your mentor can help you they can help you to tell you which coach is good for which area of your skills gap. Or like I've said, you can just go to LinkedIn, look at the reviews for each and every coach that is there, and then you can be able to narrow down on one or two. Depending on the expertise, you can choose more, even more than three or four coaches. Then next, you need to come up with a plan. The coach will help you to come up with a plan, and the plan involves like resources. How much are you going to pay for those services? The services are not free, because that's the work of the coach is at work. So They charge for CV writing services, they charge for cover letter, they charge for job application, they charge for interview coaching. So you need to have a budget. And then you need to plan for your time because it's also an investment in time. And then next is the execution. Like you do the actual coaching, and you can even like monitor and evaluate your performance. Let's say I did an interview coaching for a month, and then I went for an interview, and now at least as opposed to getting regrets, I'm making it to the second interview. So like that is a positive progress. So you continue with the coaching, and when you finally achieved your goal, you can now separate with the coach. Do we have any questions to that point? Let me see the chat. No questions on the chat. I hope you're learning. So how can mentorship and coaching transform job searches? Anyone? I want it to be as interactive as possible so that it's not like a lecture I'm giving. Anyone? How mentorship and coaching can transform job search. Okay, so let's continue. Um, Mentorship can transform job search in a way that you identify the mentor, you identify the person who is doing what you would like to do in the future, or the person who is what you would like to become in the future. So after identifying that, next is going to be like following the steps of what they do or what they did to become who they are. So if they're successful in their employability, then it means you're going to be successful in your employability as well. If you followed all the steps that they followed, and if you reach out to them and they are in and you establish a relationship, then everything they ever did were for their job search, for their career advancement, it's going to work out for you. And if you want to identify, if you want to know if someone is a good mentor to you, is that when they start mentoring you, your life will start to get transformed. It will be transformed in the direction that you want it, you like the direction you had envisioned it. I had an instance where someone was telling me, okay, he's into business, and he was telling me that one career coach is their mentor. So I asked them, how long has this person been your mentor? And they said for 6 years. So I asked them, then why is it not reflecting? Like, this person has access to jobs, they have access to opportunities, they have access to how to apply for jobs. Like they're basically a powerhouse when it comes to employability. So how is it that more than 6 years down the line, you are you are not reflecting who they are? Yeah, so they were honest with me to tell me that okay, this person just inspires me, but I don't really do what they do, and I don't really do what they do, and I don't even follow what they say, but I just like how on LinkedIn they have a large followership. I just like the way like people give success stories after he has coached them. So it's very important to define also what you want, so that you're not just a fanatic of someone, you're actually gaining from them by following in the footsteps that they did to become what they are right now. So someone has asked a question in the chat. What is the rough estimate of coaching per session? So this depends on the kind of coaching that you want. Like I've said, we have different needs. We have different career needs. Uh, so it depends with what you want. Someone may want to be coached just to pass an interview. Someone may want to be coached to negotiate salary. Someone may want to be coached to like they're new in their position. Let's say they have a promotion, or maybe they have a new job and it's a management position, so they want to be coached on leadership. It will depend on exactly what kind of coaching that you want and how long, yeah, like how long it will take, and also the amount of time, yeah, how long it will take, and also the coach that you will engage with, because we have different types of needs. We have very different types of career needs, and they vary per person. Thank you for that question. Any other question? So I don't know. Hosea, are you there? Mm. Owen has a question. I have I have a friend who has several mentors in the HR space as she is in HR. I tend to find that the mentors are misleading her on the advices they give her, as they always backfire. What will you advise? Yes, so uh, we have peer-to-peer mentorship, and sometimes this can be people who are just ahead of you or just below you, and sometimes they're also just experimenting the same things you are also experimenting. And so if you ask them questions, or if you allow them to lead you without having a second opinion, then it means that you'll also just be experimenting what they're experimenting. And if it fails on their end and it also fails on your end, it means that you are not helping each other. So yeah, you can have peer mentors, but you also need someone who is much ahead of you. And another thing also is to note that uh, you should be able to vet your mentors. You should be able to vet your mentors, and even with time, you should be able to like choose new mentors and drop others according to the needs that you have. Because we have some mentors who, just because they have experience in a particular area, does not mean that they are now qualified to be your mentor. It could be that they have the wrong experience. It could be they have the wrong knowledge. And so if you follow them, if you follow them with all that you are, or all that you have, it means that you're going to like to deceive yourself. You're going to get all the wrong ideas, all the wrong mentorship, and you're even going to deceive others when your time comes for you to be a mentor. So it's important to vet your mentors, and also it's also important to be careful so that the mentor is only guiding you up to a certain defined, like your relationship also has to be defined so that you don't buy into their belief system, you don't buy into their their wrong practices. Yeah, because you find that someone, a mentor is just also a human being, and you don't want to like copy an exam to be to be a photocopy of who they are. You need to pick out the values that you need and to leave the rest. So you have also to be very careful. Yeah. You have to like observe the traits for your mentor and see, like, is this the person I'd like to become? That is first of all before starting the relationship. And then uh of course you'll say, this is what I like about this person, this is what I don't like about this person. So you pick only what you like, because it's not advisable to even copy their belief system, to copy how they do their things. Theirs is just to guide you to a point where you are stable enough to make your own intellectually sound judgments. I hope I've answered your question, Owen. Then Rosemary is saying, how do you negotiate for salary? This one is a very, very, very broad topic, Rosemary. We had a session on that not so long ago, but also it will depend on very many factors. The first one being how much information do you have regarding your prospective employer. The more information you have, the more your chances of making the correct decision. Because the more the more chances for making the a successful bargain. Because this person, once you know how they, let's say if you have information such as how they pay their employees, you have information such as when it started, you have information such as their clients, you're able to like know which figure to quote. Yeah, so if you go for an interview, just wait until you get as much information as possible about your employer. During the interview, you can, when they ask you to ask them questions, you can ask them questions that will make them expound more on what they do, their clients and all that, so that when it comes to salary negotiation, you have a footing, you have something to start with. So always avoid negotiating for salary before an interview. Yeah, but we can still share with you that recording. It was like a 2-hour recording on salary negotiation. Do you agree to a mentor stopping being your mentor when he sees you're not making progress where he has done all he can? Uh, yes, you have to, like, the mentorship relationship does not have to be long term. It's just supposed to be, it's not supposed to be permanent, I can say. It's just there for the period of learning and development for the skill that you want to gain. So when learning is not being achieved, when development is not being achieved, you can separate with a mentor. Also, we have some mentors who now they become a liability, or they become like a burden. They start like telling you, if you don't follow my instructions, if you don't do what I'm telling you, it will not be well with you. Yeah, they start telling you such things. It's like a bad omen, or something bad will happen to you. So they make it look like you have to adhere to everything they have told you. But that shouldn't be the case. You need to be able to separate with the mentor when the time comes, and each of you should be able to let go of each other maturely. Of course, not burning bridges, but uh, you don't even have to make it clear that now you are not my mentor, but you can just have it at the back of your mind that in this instance, I'm not learning as much as I would like to learn, or I'm not getting the opportunities. I'm not making clearer decisions. Yeah, so you can decide to choose a different mentor. Yeah, you don't have to like end this relationship entirely, but you also don't invest so much in it. The mentor can also opt to separate with you. It depends. It's a mutual agreement. How do you handle a situation where your mentor is well connected, but they don't want to connect you with their network? So, Owen, I don't know if you had joined when we said that mentorship is purely out of generosity and love, because the mentor is not out to gain anything from helping you with either with their network, with their knowledge, with their skills. They're just there they have your best interest at heart. They want to see you like you've passed, you've excelled. And it starts in the way you approach this person for mentorship. We say that you shouldn't ask this person directly, please be my mentor. I want you to mentor me. I want you to coach me. Or let's say I have a need. I have a biz my company needs some financing, so I want you to come and finance me. So those such kind of things they usually put mentors off. The best way is to interest them to becoming your mentor. We can do that by first of all attending their meetings, attending their webinars, buying their books, giving them feedback. Like I attended this meeting, and what you said, I went and used it at work, and I was very successful. I was promoted. Yeah, I like what you're doing. And then now you start asking questions, you see, so that uh, this person feels the need to invest in you, because they've seen that you've bought into their ideas, you've bought their material, so they're interested in seeing that this person must succeed because they're my follower. They have to succeed. And so with that, they now start now to open up for opportunities to open up for networks. And your best interest is what they have in mind. So if you find a mentor is your mentor and they're not willing to share opportunities, then it means they're not truly your mentor. It's you who wants them to be your mentor, but they're not your mentor. Yeah. So we have very many mentors. Okay, like I said, you can choose several mentors. So if one is not working, you can just like leverage on the opportunities being provided by the other mentor. Yeah, and also sometimes it's not that your mentor doesn't want to connect you. Personally, I've had instances where some students approached me. They told me like, we want you to be our mentor. So I told them, uh, okay, I can't say I'm going to be your mentor, but in case you have any question about navigating your career life, I'll be happy to support. So they said it's okay. And then, so they started giving me updates. Okay, now I've graduated, I'm going for internship. I said it's okay. Now I've finished my internship, I have my certificate. Now I need a job. So I told her, uh, just wait. If you have your CV ready with you, you can share with me so that I can start to I can start to look out for opportunities for you. And they were like, I thought you have opportunities, like you're a HR person and you do recruitment every day. So it's unlikely that you don't have an opportunity. Yeah, so sometimes it happens like that. But the role of a mentor ideally is not also just to like handhold you and walk you into your dream job. You also have to put in the work. The role of the mentor is to develop you to a point where you are able to identify these opportunities for yourself. You're able to see this is what I need. Is it in Kenya? Is it outside of Kenya? And to apply, to get called for interview, get the interview, now inform them. I was interviewed at this point, this company, and I have the job offer. Yeah. So the mentor, sometimes they can handhold you, but not always. Their role is to develop you to a point where you can do without them. I hope that was well answered. So there's a question. As a mentor, how do you handle a stubborn mentee? Yeah. So uh, in terms of they ask for advice and after giving advice, they do something else. Yeah. So I'm encouraging all of us to bring their questions. Not only Owen, so all of us can just type the questions in the chat. Yeah. So when it comes to handling stubborn mentee, I have two stubborn mentees, I can say. One of them is very close to me, and for them, they just, yeah, we discuss, we agree on something, and they go and do the completely different thing, and then they now complain that it didn't work. Yeah, so like I'll just give an example. There are some vacancies I sent to them to apply for, and they did one very good CV and cover letter, and they had written down the name of the company in that cover letter, like, I'd like to work for your company because you're in this industry and this is the industry I want to work in. Yeah, so they sent this particular CV and cover letter to all these other companies. Yeah, they didn't care whether it's in a different industry or what. And so they got feedback from one of the companies. They got feedback from one company, it's a furniture store. And they sent the CV saying they're interested in hospitality. So uh, the feedback was that uh, like they told him very clearly, you have applied for a job, but clearly this is not the job you applied for. Either you are sending it to a different place or yeah, you sent the wrong CV. So that's the feedback they got. So I just allow them to see the consequence of their actions. But you see, that's because that person is close to me, is a close relative. If it's someone who is not a relative, as a mentor, if I get tired of the person, I just allow them now to experience it, like to learn the hard way. The second mentee usually has to they usually just complain like there's no job. This country, you have to know someone to get a job. Yeah, so I gave them practical steps. Number one, complete your diploma, get a certificate. Number two, do your CV, do your cover letter. They told me it's okay, but you don't even need a diploma to get a job. These days, it's just connections. So at some point, I think they separated with me and then they just came back by themselves. They told me now I'm ready to follow instructions. Then I told them it's okay. So now we're now working like now working towards something. Yeah. But as a mentor, sometimes also I don't have like enough time to follow up and see if they really got the job or not. Yeah, mine is just to give guidance. And then if they accept, well, I'm good. If not, then it's okay. Then Felix is saying, thank you for sharing this vital information to us. My question is, where do we get their mentors? For example, in Kisumu. Secondly, are their coaching only limited to employment opportunities or they offer advice on career choices? Felix, if you're in Kisumu, there's still no problem because number one, I said your mentor doesn't have to be someone who is in the same geographical location as you are. Some of us are being mentored by people who are not in even in Kenya. So you can leverage on the power of social media because this person probably has blogs, they have written books, they have a YouTube page, they have a TikTok account. Just go listen to the material, listen to their stories, listen to what people say about them. And mentors, most of the time, are usually willing to share information about themselves. Then they're never mean with their information. You find someone like, let's say, for example, okay, this is wild, but someone like Mark Zuckerberg, if you want him to be your mentor right now, you just go, you just read the story of Facebook, what he did, how he invented it, how much he invested, and you just begin following those same exact steps, and you're going to see the same results. So you don't have to be in the same place with your mentor. Alternatively, you can just, like I said, you can call them, ask a question, mind your communication skills, give feedback timely. For mentors, it's for you to make the relationship alive with them. It's for you to keep up with them, to give them updates, to ask questions, yeah, to call them, yeah. So if you're in a different geographical location, it's still okay. You can still use the social media. Secondly, are there coaching only? No, it's not limited to employment opportunities. We have very many benefits of coaching because actually you go for a coach after you have already identified the gap that you want to bridge. So the coach can help you get employment opportunities. They can help you make the right decisions. If you're wondering whether to take up a promotion or not, because some promotions might come when you're not fully ready, they can help you make that decision. They can help you make decision on which job to take. If you are, let's say, if you have multiple job offers, they can make you they can help you make a decision on whether to separate with your employer or not. Let's say if it's a toxic environment, they can help you negotiate for salary. They can help you even negotiate for a promotion. They can help you switch careers. Let's say you're now in HR, you want to go to finance. They can help you with that. They can help you do your CV and your cover letter. So there are very, very many things that a coach can do for you. It's not limited to employment opportunities. And yes, they also do, they do, yeah, they advise on career choices. They advise on career coaching, yeah. Like you can, if you want to change your career or if you're not decided on which career to choose, they can also help you to come up with a decision. So we have different types of coaches. We have business coaches, we have career coaches, We have coaches of sports, those who watch football. So for you to be able to approach someone for coaching, it's you who knows what you want. And for anything that you want, there's a coach for it. Yeah, there's a swimming coach, there's a coach for everything you need. So come up with the skills gap, and then now you're going to be able to get the coach for what you want. And Felix, also at Denidel, we also do the career coaching for career coaching and everything else related to employability. That's if you're joining us for the first time. Uh, any any other question? Thank you for that, Jason. Thank you for that, Jason. Yeah. So at some point in your life, you will discover that people are approaching you for mentorship. And at that point is when you'll know that what you've been doing, like you've built your brand to an extent where people feel like you can be influential to their decisions. Yeah, so it's important also to like learn what makes a good mentor, what makes a good coach, because at some point you will be required to be one, whether you know it or not. Yeah. I can see you don't have questions. All right. There's a question from Owen. What is your opinion for HR professionals who approach you for mentorship programs and ask for payment? Uh, I'm not clear about this question. Owen, can you unmute and ask the question? What is your opinion for HR professionals who approach you from? Are they approaching me to be their mentor, or are they approaching me to mentor me?
Hi,
Hi, Owen.
hi. You can hear me, right?
Yes, I can.
So as your opinion on that, because as you have been in the HR space for a while, and if you have noticed, 2023, 2024, there has been
Yeah,
a trend of HRs or consultants having mentorship programs.
yeah,
So you find that they say I have this mentorship program. I want like 20, 30 people, but you need to pay this amount. Do you? What's your opinion on that? Because yes,
uh,
because the fact that you find that uh, it's not that they won't get the people who want to be mentored by them, because they already have a name in the HR space. You already know like
yeah,
the big dogs in the space, right? So
yeah,
this is someone who say if they say I have this mentorship program per se, they
yeah,
already know they have a following who and
yeah,
people will go for it. So
yeah,
they use that leverage per se to set up a
mhm,
mentorship program, but they say, I'll be
yeah,
charging this. So, what's your
yeah,
opinion on that?
yeah. So my opinion is that that program has just been labeled a mentorship program, but ideally it is a coaching program, because you'll see the goals are clearly defined, they're time bound, and the performance can even be evaluated. So that one basically is coaching. Yeah, because if you have a written goal, if you're asking for payment, if you're evaluating the performance of the employee or of the mentee, if you are not doing any other thing for the coachee, it means then that this is a coaching program. It's not a mentorship program. Yeah, because mentorship is, we said it's long term. So they're taking advantage of people because they know if we say it's a coaching program, not many people are going to join, because many people are looking for mentors who can be able to like work with them their career journey. So it's like a trap, it's like a bait trap. Like, this is a mentorship program, but ideally what you are going to do is coaching. So I think the people who will enroll for the program also have to be aware that this is just a coaching program that I'm signing up for, not a mentorship program. And you can see these days in the market, very many people can take advantage of the job seekers because no, not many are aware of like the HR practices. Not many are aware of the HR best practices. So you find most of them fall prey into these people's hands. It's very good to be vigilant as well. Thank you, Rosemary. Thank you, Rosemary. So before you can select a mentor, before you can select a mentor or a coach, it's important to know that they're certified. We have certified coaching programs. Like people who are certified coaches, you can ask for their certification. You can ask for their IHRM membership, because most HR professionals, they become coaches by default, by the fact that they've been doing recruitment. So you can ask for their associate number or just a HRM number in order for you to know that you are dealing with someone who is qualified in what they are doing. Yeah. So thank you so much. We are coming to the end of the session. Myself, I have mentors as well, and I'm very, very happy that all of them are HR professionals, and one is exclusively a recruiter. So yeah, I'm getting all the benefits that I should be getting as a mentee. Thank you so much, Rosemary. In case we don't have a question, I'd like to invite Hosea to close the session for us. Hosea, are you there? Rosemary, I've seen your question on my inbox, and I believe we've answered it. It's the one about salary negotiation, but we'll still share with you the recording after the session. Uh, Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. In case we don't have any other question, we're going to end the discussion now. I hope I hope you find a good mentor. I hope you find a good coach. But if you're unable to, you can still approach us. Let me share with you the group link so that you can join our WhatsApp group, and we can be able to continue the discussion further. Yeah, so I've shared with you on the chat the link to our WhatsApp group. Please join so that if you have any question in regards to employability, you can ask in the forum. Please join the WhatsApp group so that if you have any question throughout the week, you can ask. Yeah, I'm giving time for people to join. Let me just give 2 or 3 minutes for everyone to join. Meanwhile, if there's any question, you can ask. Yeah, 1 more minute for people to join the group, and then we'll call it a day. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. And we look forward to hosting you in next week's session. You are free to drop off from the call. And you're welcome. Hope to see you next time. All right. Thank you, Perez. Thank you, Perez. Hope to see you next time. Yeah, join the WhatsApp group. The link is there on the chat. So on that group, you can ask any question. If you have an interview, you can just ask questions. Yeah, we'll be able to answer the questions in the group. Yes, Rosemary, goodbye. We hope to see you next time. We hope you're going to engage us with any question you have on career development, any question on employability. We'll be happy to help.